This time, we will choose from the stories of the past Pokémon. Pokémon that will be extremely successful and Pokémon that will struggle. I'll introduce 20 of them. Which starter Pokémon to choose in the story? It's extremely important. Choose the winning trio. Sometimes it becomes a soft game. I drew a bad starter and it got sent to the box. There will be viewers with a variety of experiences. I have a feeling that's true. Please introduce it soon. First, let's start by introducing the Pokémon that will be featured. Squirtle. The first Pokémon to play an active role is Squirtle. Squirtle is one of the first generation starter Pokémon. It's all water type right up to its final evolved form, Blastoise. The same time, Charizard has a flying type. Venusaur is a poison type combo. It can be used as a single type as well. Squirtle has a few good points. There are many moves that can be learned using TMs. It's easy to use for many Pokémon, especially after the fight with Kasumi at Cerulean Gym. I can get a Bubble Beam. By reminding, you can use powerful water moves from the beginning. Many Pokémon don't learn high-powered moves until the end of the game. Even if I keep it on hand it will rot. Being able to use Bubble Beams from the early stages is great. Furthermore, I know this may be pointless, but because water types are superior, normal and water moves that are mainly learned by Squirtle-type Pokémon can take on most opponents at equal odds. It also makes the story walkthrough much smoother. It learns Surf, which is useful both in battle and on the field. You can also use Blizzard and Earthquake to cover your weaknesses. Water is the most favored type among the starter 3. I had a vague idea, but now I'm sure. In the remake of FRLG, Bite is now an evil type, so you can use it against ghost types. Their responsibility is the best among the big 3. I have the impression that there are quite a lot of water type weather moves. You can also memorize it and use it as is. The strength of water types. And not only that, the fact that there were many gym leaders who were compatible with me was also a plus. In the first game, you could also use the Yokwatar and Jiware combo. It was already displaying unreasonable strength that ignored type compatibility. It's already strong, so relying on the original's broken specifications is unfair. For these reasons, Squirtle. In the strategy guides for the first generation, they were described as the strongest of the starter trio. From the speed of progress in the early stages and the stability in the battles with gym leaders and the Elite Four. Even in a manual time attack, demand is divided equally between the male Nidoran and the female Nidoran. The Nidoking family is known as a department store of moves. To be able to compete on equal terms, Squirtle is amazing. Totodile. The second one is a Totodile. Another water type. Wanonoko is a water type Pokemon of the Johto starter trio. All water types up until the final evolved form, Feraligatr. Why is Totodile so strong in the story? First of all, there is a wide range of techniques that can be learned. To learn to bite, it will be against a ghost type. Easy to use in the Ainge Gym battle. Also at the department store in Kogan City, you can buy the Ice Punch move machine and teach it to your Pokemon. It's possible to use water and ice techniques, which complement each other very well. In past battle environments, it is said that Freeze Beam is essential for water-type Pokemon. I understand how excellent this skill is. By the way, just the Surf and Ice Punch. Champion Wataru's 6 Pokemon. It can be used to great effect against anything other than Gyarados. It's almost always possible to calm them down with one punch. If you just keep leveling up Feraligatr and Ampharos, I think I can beat Wataru with a bang. In the remake of HGSS, the range of skills has been refined. Because they can now learn Crunch and Superpower. It's easy to use because it can exploit the weaknesses of various enemies. It has such an impressive range of moves that you wouldn't think it's a pure water type. As for the Gold and Silver works, Surfing, Whirlpools, and Waterfalls. Because there are many water-type weather moves, it's also great that you can take on that role. There are so many skill candidates I'm having trouble deciding. I want 8 move slots for Feraligatr. Mudkip. The third one is Mudkip. Mudkip is a water Pokemon of the Hoenn starter trio. After evolving, Swampclaw also becomes a ground type. Needless to say, Mudkip. It's the godly Pokemon in the story. Probably one of the strongest of all the starter 3. The first gym, the Kanazumi Gym, is a rock type. You can clear it by firing water guns repeatedly. If raised properly, by the time we conquered the third electric gym, Kinsetsu Gym, it has acquired the ground type, so it's easy to break through. Better than Kinsetsu Gym. Isn't it true that getting there is actually harder? Maybe it's the rival under the bridge? That must be traumatic for all players who chose Mudkip. It was hit by Swallow, which is 4x weak to Bayleaf. I remember dying instantly. To be honest, the hardest thing about using Mudkip is from the second Muro Gym to the rival battle under the bridge. After that, you'll be surprised at how easy it is to clear. It was a pretty tough situation in the whole story. The final evolved form of Swampert learns the move, Earthquake. His secret techniques, Surf, and Rock Climb, are also powerful. If you teach it the moves, Ice Beam, and Ice Punch, using the TMs, it also helps you deal with Dragon Pokemon, which you have a hard time dealing with. Genji of the 4 Heavenly Kings is 4 times weaker to Ice. They will be using Salamence, Altaria, and Flygon. I definitely want to remember that. Furthermore, if you are using Ruby or Omega Ruby, It is extremely strong against the enemies, Donmel and Bakuda, used by the Magma team. It's so strong that you can clear it with just one Swampert. If you want to enjoy your Hoenn journey, don't choose Mudkip. It is even said that. It's all so complicated, I guess I should take that as a compliment, right? Hikazaru. The fourth one is Hikazaru. Wow, this is the first Fire-type Pokemon we've seen here. Hikazaru is one of the starter Pokemon in the Sinnoh region of the 4th generation and is a Fire-type. After evolution, Munkazaru gains a Fighting type. How strong is Hikazaru in the story? First, let's start with the basic stats for a fast attacker. Infernape has attack and special attack of 104 and speed of 108. Even among the successive starter trio, it has top-class dual-wielding ability and speed. Basically, you can take the initiative. You can make your journey go smoothly. This racial value is certainly strong. The Swampert I introduced earlier is also strong, but there were times when I was hit with a grass move first and couldn't do anything. In travel parties, speed is justice. Also, the skills he learns are excellent. Mach Punch, Infight, Flare Drive. On self-learning, Grass Knot, Earthquake, Stone Edge, etc. You can learn powerful sub-weapons with TMs. Grass Knots are used by Torterra and Catfish. Stone Edge is effective against Gyarados and Flying-type Pokemon. It's good to be able to hit it. In particular, the galactic boss Akaji has. Since it is focused on flying, just teach it rock moves. I think it'll be pretty easy. This alone was strong enough. But, is it still getting stronger? In the remake of BDSP, you can learn Glow Punch from the beginning. Just keep hitting first and your attack will increase. Even the types I don't like no longer matter. It became possible to use brute force tactics. The horror of Glow Punch. I learned a lot from Mega Kangaskhan. It would be no good if a travel Pokemon learned a move like this. As mentioned before, water types are generally the strongest starter Pokemon. The performance and range of skills that overturn it all. This is Infernape's strength, a fire-type hopeful, Oshawott. The fifth one is Majumaru. Oshawott is a water-type starter Pokemon in the Unova region. Water types are strong after all. Oshawott evolves at level 17. The Shell Blade you learned just before that has an effective power of 112, making it quite powerful. There aren't many Pokemon that can deal this much damage from the early stages. In addition to being favored as a type, it even got some great moves. Majumaru is really loved by the developers. She has a cute appearance, so it's no wonder she's loved. In addition, you can learn Scissor Cross, Grass Knot, and Blizzard with the TM. It also has excellent damage against grass, water, and dragon types, which are its weaknesses. Needless to say, you'll learn the secret technique of surfing. After evolving into Daikenki in the middle of the game, I guess a lot of people switched from Shellblade. In BW, the number of essential weather moves has decreased. Surfing is good because you can use it during the story. As an aside, you have to take a detour in BW. It's hard to find a good water Pokemon. In that sense, Majumaru is highly recommended. Huh? Is that right? Speaking specifically about BW, until the Hall of Fame, only Pokemon from the Unova region appeared. Because it doesn't pass over the water surface very often, you won't find them unless you go out and surf yourself. By the way, there's a map like 20th channel. I also felt like it was a little. Pokemon from previous games will also appear in BW too. Still, the Oshawott family is excellent from the beginning to the end. I recommend you use it. Froakie. The sixth one is Froakie. Froakie is a water-type starter Pokemon from the Kalos region. When it evolved into its final form, Greninja, it will be a water, dark type. Greninja was also voted the most popular Pokemon. I've been ranked number 1 before. Not only is it popular, but it's also a strong travel Pokemon. The grass-type starter trio that have not been selected at all so far are. I'm gonna cry. Reimu also vaguely noticed. Grass types are pretty tough. Returning to the topic, let me explain Froakie's strengths. First of all, it has very high speed, so it can take the initiative against most opponents. There are many more techniques to learn. Other than water and evil type matching, Rock, Esper on his own. The move machine can cover ground, flying, and even grass. Among the 3 water type starter Pokemon, the range of skills is top class. Although there are many more weaknesses, it's not that durability is that low. Hold on and then activate the attack. From there, Numinoria took the initiative. You can take the initiative and use Mizu Shuriken repeatedly. I'm strong in the face of adversity. Even if the starter 3's characteristics are activated, because there's no point if you get the first move. In that sense, it has the same speed as Greninja. I feel so relieved. As expected, the most popular Pokemon, Poplio. The 7th one is Ashimari. Poplio is a water-type Pokemon that is one of the starter Pokemon in the Alola region. When it becomes the final evolved form, Primarina, it will be a water, fairy type. Which starter Pokemon have the fairy type? It was quite distinctive and left a strong impression on me. How strong is Ashimari in the story? First of all, that type. Water, fairy type with excellent offense and defense. It can also stand up to dragon types, which were a weakness for water types. The other water starter Pokemon can also use ice techniques, so they were able to fight to some extent. Primarina is the only one of the starter Pokemon that can nullify dragon moves. Fire, water, and grass types are all half-powered against dragons. Overall, this is a great achievement for the starter Pokémon, who are weak against dragons. Also, in order to learn Psychokinesis, etc., the final attack has a wide range. It can also counter poison types, which fairy types are weak against. The species distribution is also quite good. Its special attack is 126, which is easy to understand, making it a special attacker. It's a little slower, but it's still worth it. When it evolves into Primarina, it learns the ability, Aria of the Waterfall, which is an area attack. It's also strong against the frequent calls for companions that occur in the Alola region. This is a feature that has caused me a lot of trouble in battles with boss Pokémon. If I can attack everyone with this special attack, I'll feel safe. Unlike Greninja, it is slow, so it is difficult to make use of Gekaryu. It has a certain degree of durability and high firepower, so it can fight tenaciously. That's the good thing about Primarina. It's nice to have the same sense of security as the Swampert. Cyndaquil, the 8th one is from Legends Arceus. Cyndaquil, wow, a unique piece. Furthermore, the long-awaited selection of non-water types. This is nice. This is my second fire type, but I still don't have any grass types. I've given up on that. Cyndaquil first appeared in the Johto region. It is a fire-type Pokémon and a contemporary of Totodile. The journey to Magmarashi is as usual. When Typhlosion evolves, it gains the ghost type. It's what they call a hidden burrowing worm. There are a few reasons why Cyndaquil is so strong in LA. First of all, it has high special attack and speed. Special attack 119, speed 95. Although its speed has dropped slightly compared to the original species, special attack increased by 10. In a travel party, firepower is justice. This is nice. In addition, his special move, Hyaki and Ko, is also quite powerful. What effect did it have? A special fire technique with a power of 60. 30% chance of causing burn status, and if the opponent is in an abnormal status, the power is doubled. It's like making Tatarime fire type and making it a bit stronger. This technique itself has the effect of inflicting abnormal conditions. It's powerful that there's a chance of increasing firepower just by tapping repeatedly. Although the original Typhoon's fire techniques were powerful, I had a hard time because my skill range was narrow. The range of skills has been expanded thanks to the addition of ghost skills. With increased firepower, you can push forward with force. It's also great that it can now nullify normal and fighting moves. It's become easier to take advantage of an opportunity and descend for free. By the way, in LA, there is no sleep or freeze state that makes the opponent unable to act. It has been replaced with a different abnormal condition similar to paralysis or poison. No matter what abnormal condition the opponent is in, there is still a chance they can act. I used Hypnosis on another Pokémon. The boss you want to capture will launch a throw tackle and injure himself, ending the battle. That's what happens. In that sense, it can prevent normal-type self-harming moves from firing. The addition of ghost types will be quite helpful for catching Pokémon. Although there may be cases where the assumptions are not met due to the specifics of LA. It's amazing that you can even take care of that. Scorbunny, the 9th one is Scorbunny. Fire types in a row. I don't hate water types at all. I'm glad to see non-water Pokémon being introduced. Scorbunny is a fire-type starter in the Galar region. All the way up to its final evolution, Aceburn, it's a fire type. How strong is Aceburn in terms of story progression? First of all, high attack and speed. Its base stats are quite high, with an attack of 116 and a speed of 119. In a good way, it's not like the big three, with so many ambidextrous characters. As expected, it's a Pokémon that was also used in battles. Also, its special move, Fireball, is quite powerful. What effect did it have? Power 120, hit rate 90, and 10% chance of burning the opponent. A power of 120 without any drawbacks is pretty strong. Fireball is perfect except for the fact that it only has 5 PP. I'm a bit worried about PP5 for a travel party. Also, in a travel party, the range of skills is by no means wide. The others are jumping and squirming. I think the main focus will be on fire techniques to make up for PP concerns. From what I've heard so far, it seems inferior to the skillful Infernape. Dynamax is the solution to that. I see. How do you operate it? Dynamic Knuckle increases attack and Dynamic Jet increases speed. In addition to getting a skill boost that matches up perfectly with Aceburn, you can do it in sunny weather with Divern. If it is a Dynamax-enabled match, start strengthening your team from the first turn onwards. You can just push it like that. What a brainless tactic. Considering that Rose's Pokémon are all steel types, fire type, it's hard to believe that its range is so narrow, but it's effective. If you look at it like this, Dynamax is. It looks so damn attractive. Hogter, the last Pokémon to appear in the trip was. This is the latest SV Hogeta. Again, the second half was a raging rush of fire types. Hogtail is one of the starter Pokémon from the Paldea region and is a fire type. When it evolved into its final form, Loudbone, it will be given the ghost type. That was so cute. Hogata. The final evolution is too difficult. It seems like a lot of players were shocked. There's not much of a trace of the Hogata era. It's a concept that's never been seen before and I really like it. I wonder why Hogeta is so strong in the Paldea journey. First of all, the type. With the addition of the Ghost type, being able to disable Normal and Ghost is great. In this game, you can play in any order you like. At that time, the Normal type gym leader Aoki and, by challenging Biwa Ne of the Fighting type Star Squad, you can enjoy the benefits to the fullest. In particular, Biwa Ne is a very strong opponent with a very high level. I'm happy to bring Loudborn with me. Also, her special move Flare Song is quite powerful. A special fire technique with a power of 80 that always increases special attack by 1 level. It can supplement the firepower of Loudbone, which is more durable. Just sitting here typing this. Sometimes you can even win. It is also strong against Ice, Psychic, and Ghost gyms that will likely appear later in the game. You can use special techniques among the physical-oriented Paldeaments. It's something that's very useful. Certainly, if you let your guard down while traveling in the Paldea region, because 6 out of 6 are physical attackers. I'd be grateful if you could just resolve that. I'm looking forward to the release of special attackers in DLC. So far, we have introduced the Pokémon that play a major role in the story. I introduced 10 of them. Here's the exact opposite. If you choose this, you will have trouble with the starter Pokémon in the story. Let me introduce them to you. Water types have almost been exhausted. Because there isn't a single grass type. I have a bad feeling about this. I'll listen with determination. Charmander. The first Pokémon that gives you trouble in the story is Charmander. Charmander is one of the starter lizards in the Kanto region. It's a fire-type Pokémon. When it evolves, it becomes a Charizard with the flying type added. It becomes extremely reliable. If you choose a Charmander like that, you'll have a hard time with the story. That's kind of surprising. It's exactly as Reimu said. Once he turns into Charizard, he's pretty strong. My compatibility with gym battles in the early stages is just too bad. The first is Takeshi, a rock type, and the second is Kasumi, a water type. You'll have a tough time fighting gym leaders. Indeed, in the early stages, fire and normal types. Because technique is the main thing. It seems like it would be pretty difficult for Charmander to beat Takeshi. Regarding Kasumi's Starmie, there's nothing I can do because I'm being hit from above. So if you only give experience points to Charmander in the early stages, you need to be careful because you might get stuck. You need to catch and train other advantageous type Pokémon. However, once you get past the difficult opening, on top of learning Flame Blast on his own, it also has a high compatibility rate with move machines, so it will be a powerful force. Since the Pikachu version, he can now learn to fly. You won't have any trouble with type matching, high-powered flying moves. Also, I won't go into the details, but the calculation of critical hit rate was bugged in the first game. Lizard learns the skill, Cut, at level 33. You'll also be able to mow down enemies. A Charizard that knows Slash and is fairly fast. I'm really enjoying the benefits of the original specs. Chikorita, the second of the starter trio to give us trouble is Chikorita. Here they are, the Grass-type starter trio make an appearance. This is where the raging Grass-type rush begins. Please look forward to it. It's a sad place. Chikorita is a Grass-type Pokémon that is one of the starter Pokémon in the Johto region. It's a pure Grass type all the way up to its final evolved form, Meganium. Basically, it is a defensive weapon. When it becomes Meganium, its base stats are 100 defense and 100 special defense. On the other hand, the attack and special attack are just over 80. How to use it as an attacker in a travel party? There is a considerable lack of numbers. Many of the 3 active families introduced in the first half. Attack or special attack was over 100. Meganium looks tougher in comparison. In Gold and Silver, the only matching move you can learn by the middle of the game is Leaf Cutter. Not only is the species value insufficient, but the power of the move is also insufficient. That's pretty unfair. Give me a better technique. Also, the reason why Chikorita is said to be the most unfortunate is it's a good match for Johto gym battles. Was it really that bad a match? First of all, you're at a disadvantage in 5 out of 8 gyms. Tough on flying, bug, steel, ice, and dragon types. Not effective at the first 2 gyms and the last 3 gyms. Of all people, Johto is full of grass-type killers. Furthermore, the ghost-type Pokémon in the Ainge gym, the ones that appear are mainly Gengar-type Pokémon, including poison types. Effectively unfavorable. I can't believe that 6 out of 8 gyms are unfavorable to me. The remaining 2 gyms are normal and fighting. Our compatibility is equal, so it's not like we have any advantage. Roughly speaking, out of 8 matches, there were 2 draws and 6 losses. This is bad for the developers. I don't know if this is a defense, but in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, you learn Reflector at level 12. Akane's Miltank countermeasures can be. This is the only benefit of choosing Chikorita. Still not enough firepower. It looks like it's going to be filled with milk only. So, Chikorita is one of the best characters of all generations. The underprivileged starter Pokémon. If you want to clear the game safely, you should just choose Totodile. Trico. The third Pokémon that I'm having trouble with is Trico. Trico is a grass-type starter Pokémon from the Hoenn region. There will be no type changes until the final evolved form, Sceptile. It's also a grass type. If it could be combined with something stronger, it's still easy to use. As I've said many times before, grass types themselves are pretty weak, so it can't be helped. However, I remember that Ferrothorn was used a lot in battles. Considering that, it seems like a good combination with steel types. It'll be pretty exciting if the grass and steel starter Pokemon appear. Empoleon is a water type and is strong enough. I want you to give me that steel part. Going back to the topic, the reason why you'll have a hard time if you choose Trico. First of all, there's a lack of skills to learn. I can only remember the long periods of time in the beginning and the continuous cuts. Suetora is a type match and has recovery capabilities, but its power is 20. Repeated hits of the chain cut will have high firepower, but the initial hit only has a power of 10. No matter how you look at it, there's a lack of firepower. There's not enough instantaneous firepower. Although it is a one-of-a-kind item, by teaching it the seed machine gun move, it might still be better. There is a difference in the number of times it is triggered. Still, it seems stronger than Sudowoodo. Once you learn Leaf Blade from the middle of the game onwards, the firepower rises and it gets even easier. A long-awaited high-powered type matching technique. By the way, did they not learn any other useful skills? There's almost no such thing. If I had to say, it would be something like, in the third generation, enemies almost never withdraw their Pokemon. It's just a nasty move with a power of 40. That's tough. It is possible to strengthen it by using TMs a lot. As for things that are easy to obtain in the story, what can be used? Rock Tomb, digging a hole, swallow return. I guess that's about it. Rock Tomb is also strong against bug and flying types that are weak against it. However, compared to Sceptile, which has high speed to begin with, maybe the fit is bad. Because it's fast enough, I wanted a high-powered technique with no additional effects. So, it would be powerful if used by a rival. It's not impressive when I use it myself. That's the Komori system. This is what they mean when they say, the grass is greener on the other side. Turtwig. The fourth one is Turtwig. Turtwig is one of the starter Pokemon of the Sinnoh region. It's a grass type. When it evolves into its final form, Doditos, it gains a ground type. The long-awaited dual-type Pokemon. Will I still have trouble? Compared to grass-type Pokemon such as Chikorita and Komori, once evolved, it will learn Earthquake and Crunch on its own. The skill range and skills acquired are decent. It's much better though. Still, I can't resist the misfortune of grass types. Just because I was born a grass type. What's the hardest part? First of all, it's slow. While its attack and defense stats are excellent at over 100, speed is quite low at 56. If you're not careful, you might even be overtaken by unevolved Pokemon. Compared to the other starter Pokemon, it has been hit far more times. Isn't 56 one of the slowest among the starter 3? In the Diamond and Pearl series, there are many battles with Team Galactic underlings. Of all things, there are a lot of poison and flying type Pokemon. Accumulation of damage is painful. Since the opponent often takes the initiative, it just takes time. In a travel party, it's important to be able to progress smoothly. Plus, the 4x ice type damage hurts. I can barely do anything against Suzuna. In the 4 Heavenly Kings battle, Goyo's Charmeleon, a ice punch comes flying. In the match against champion Sharona, from Melodic, which should have the advantage, ice beams fly out. It's like a double whammy. This is too unfair. Snivy. The 5th Pokemon that I'm having trouble with is Snivy. Grass types that naturally rank consecutively. What did you do in your previous life? Snivy is one of the starter Pokemon from the Unova region and is a grass type. It's a pure grass type all the way up to its final evolved form, Serperior. Its base stats are speed 113, defense and special defense 95. It feels like a high-speed assist that has never been seen before. At this point, it doesn't seem like a good stat for a travel team. Attack and special attack are both 75. You can tell by the fact that it's lower than Meganium. Meganium is often cited as an unfortunate example. Gym battles are generally unfavorable. Even though it's a support type, it's hard not to learn abnormal status moves when you level up. I had an image of him glaring at me like a snake. It's a genetic technique. Also, from the perspective of how to tackle the BW scenario, rematching with trainers is not possible. You can't use the strategy of forcing your way through by taking advantage of the level difference. Furthermore, Giroda himself, because the firepower depends on stacking techniques, battles take time. BW has a high encounter rate. If you're not careful, it can be difficult to even defeat wild Pokemon. Since he's so fast, he'll probably be able to escape. This way you won't gain experience points. But fighting takes time, so it seems like it's going to be a vicious cycle. So I think a lot of people ended up in the tear box along the way, occupying the study room and working as a window sitter. I'm sure there are many people who managed to make it into the travel party just in time. It must be a real nuisance for the other 5. Pikabu, the 6th Pokemon to suffer from is. It's Snivy, who is in the same class as Snivy. Wow, the second one from Unova. It's a prophecy that if you're traveling through Unova, choose Oshawott. Pikabu is one of the starter Pokemon from the Unova region and is a fire type. Cheobu adds a fighting type. Fire and fighting are the same as Infernape, who was very active. Isn't it strong? Taken on its own, this isn't so bad. When it becomes Emboar, its base stats are 123 attack and 100 special attack. With a speed of 65, it feels like a slow, high-powered attacker. That speed can be compensated for to some extent with Nitro Charge. Usability itself is not that bad. So why is it a difficult Pokémon? As mentioned above, if your speed is low, you will be hit more often. It takes time to progress. Also, there are some extremely good Fire-type Pokémon in the Unova region. There's a certain Pokémon. Wouldn't that be better than using Pikabu? That's the main reason. What Pokémon is that? It's a Hahidoruma. It evolves into Darumaka at level 35. I see. If you can get a Hahidoruma in the wild, there's little need to specifically choose Pikabu. Unlike Emboar, Hahidoruma only has fire types. It has a very good performance with an attack stat of 140 and a speed of 95. Isn't 140 attack power insane? Furthermore, the ability, power, is powerful. The skill's power increases instead of having any additional effects. This allows you to fire off super powerful flare drives in rapid succession. Not everything. Furthermore, you can learn Arm Hammer on your own. Its range is not inferior to Emboar's. Why did we create such a monster? As mentioned above, it is difficult to catch water-type Pokémon in Unova. Let's just be nice and choose Oshawott. What a sad ending. Pikabu type in the BW remake. I look forward to strengthening. Rowlet. The 7th Pokémon that I'm having trouble with is Rowlet. Rowlet is one of the starter Pokémon in the Alola region. It's a rare Pokémon that has 2 types, grass and flying, from the start. Probably since Bulbasaur. When it becomes the final evolved form of Juniper, it becomes Grass, Ghost. This will also be a rare type. Speaking of Rowlet, he is cute in the anime. It's no exaggeration to say it's the best ever. Is it hard to choose in games? Complementary is good, but the 4x Ice weakness in the beginning is a bit tough. It evolved into Decidueye. Bug and poison weaknesses disappear, but Ghost and Dark weaknesses become available instead. Acerola's trial and the Gardenia battle become more difficult. I see, it must be tough to have so many weaknesses. Also, he is not blessed with any powerful grass techniques. Guess I'll have to wait until Leaf Blade at level 44. I just can't stand the cuteness. There are some points that can be defended. Because the final evolved form has the lowest HP stat among the starter 3. There is also the aspect that recovery efficiency is the best among recovery items. Of course, this is assuming that you'll get hurt in battle. Its contemporaries, Poplio and Litten, are extremely good. I chose Rowlet just because of how cute it is in the anime. I'm sure there are many kids who have suffered through this. It's a clever trap. Furthermore, in Legends Arceus, it's said that if you choose Rowlet, you'll have a hard time. Another work. I went all the way to Hisui. In the early stages, there are many grass and bug types. Things were easy until the Basagiri match. From the middle of the game onwards, it becomes incredibly difficult due to the number of weaknesses. LA is already a very difficult game. I feel like my mental health is being taken care of. Once you get through that period, when it reaches its final evolutionary form, Hisuiju Sniper has a fighting type. It will be strong against Crabs and Dialga in the late game. It's pretty easy if you can get that far. Can you withstand the unfavorable attributes until the end? Cute girls come with their own challenges in raising them. Harimarin. The 8th one is Harimarin. Harimarin is one of the starter Pokémon in the Kalos region. It's a grass-type Pokémon. When it becomes the final evolved form, Rigarin, it will be a grass, fighting type. Grass and fighting seem to work well together in terms of attack, but... Are you still struggling? Yes, he's good on the offensive side. It has 6 weaknesses, of which flying is 4 times weaker. Even if the types don't match, it can sink in one hit. In addition, its speed stat is only 64, so it takes a lot of damage. A type with many weak points that gets hit a lot. It's quite tiring to travel. Furthermore, it's not like its individual performance is bad. At the beginning of the Kalos journey, receive the Kanto starter trio that can Mega Evolve. Same type of Bulbasaur. Its final evolution, Mega Venusaur, is extremely powerful. I think Bulbasaur is better than Harimarin. And so it becomes. That's so sad. Someone please give Brigarin a Mega Evolution. It would be exciting if the remake had Mega Evolution. Unless that's the case, the Kalos starter trio or Froka. Bulbasaur, the Kanto starter Pokémon you receive along the way. The fire type is Talonflame, an evolved form of Fletchling. Such a powerful lineup will prevail. It's crazy that they came to this conclusion on a trip. Grookey. The 9th Pokémon that I'm having trouble with is Grookey. Grass types appear as if it were breathing. Grookey is one of the Galar region starter Pokémon and is a grass type. It's a pure grass type all the way up to its final evolved form, Rillaboom. Its base stats are 125 attack and 85 speed, making it a heavyweight physical attacker. Compared to traditional grass-type Pokémon, doesn't it seem like it would be much easier to use as an attacker? At first glance it seems that way. Even with the TMs and TMs included, it was still possible to get Rillaboom. There are too few sub-weapons. Since it is a grass type with no complementary compatibility, it's also a pain that there are so many situations where their weaknesses are exploited. It's the fate of grass types to have the weakest defense. Even more unfortunate is that, even if you defeat the grass-type gym leader, Yarrow, the skill machine you can get is Magical Leaf, a special skill. It has anti-synergy with Grookey, who has high physical attacks. The items you get don't even match up well with the game. There's nothing I can do. I have the impression that they are not very well received in travel parties. After obtaining the dream trait Glassmaker, seeing how he made a big impact and took the world by storm in matches, it makes me realize that traits are really important. Even a grass type with a limited range of moves can still do that much. Nioha, the 10th Pokemon that is giving me trouble is. This is Nioha, one of the Paldea starter trio from the latest SV game. It's a grass-type Pokemon. During the Meowth and Nearlock era, it was a grass type. When it evolves into its final form, Muscania, it becomes a grass, dark type. All of the Paldea starter trio have their own special moves. I thought they were equally strong. Is that not the case? It depends on the order in which you attack. When it comes to Muscania, the Star Team battle will be much tougher. Each of the 5 members of Star, Fire, Poison, Dark, Fairy, Fighting. 4 of these types have weaknesses that put them at a considerable disadvantage. In the Star Team battle, the final Star Mobile is quite heavy. I'm definitely not the type to have my weaknesses exposed. I can't compete with that. Further patrols are expected in the early stages. It has poor compatibility with bug and grass type gyms. You can't always hunt for treasure the way you want. If it's Hogata, he can excel in both of those. I think I can ride the wave from there. Nioha has to choose his route carefully. This time, we will look at the past Pokemon, the starter Pokemon that will be of great use when selected in the story. I introduced the starter Pokemon that are difficult to deal with. How was Reimu? Grass types are so unfortunate that I just wanted to save them. The arrival of the super excellent Grass and Steel starter trio. I'll be looking forward to it. So that's it for today's video. I'd be happy if you could leave a comment about the video in the comment section. Also, if you find this video interesting, please subscribe to our channel. I also have a lot of other Pokemon summary videos. Please go and see it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.